Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So in today's video, we'll be talking about the storm potential that is going to be occurring over the next few days. A pretty large system. It will be relatively slow moving and have many rounds of storms, thunderstorms, even a bit of snow for portions of the southern Canada, extreme northern United States. So definitely a multi-phased system. And yeah, that's basically what we will be covering. If you are new to this channel, hello and welcome. I am a weather hobbyist. I weather enthusiast. I do everything relating to the weather, hurricanes, snowstorms, all that good stuff. So if you enjoy this channel at any point, consider subscribing or liking the video, especially if you're a returning viewer. Otherwise, thank you for clicking in the first place. Let's get into this. So notice right now we have the map of the United States, and what we have is showers, and there is snow right now across the UP and into southern Canada, and we do have quite a bit of rain and precipitation across the west. While it isn't really organized, it is 100% or majorly, or for the most part, it is to do with this low pressure. And if you live across the Illinois, Iowa, Missouri area today, the plains, kind of the Great Lakes, and it was very windy and dry and warm today for a good portion of the United States. It's because of this low pressure that is sitting miles away. It's kind of fascinating how something could be sitting miles away, right? And it's affecting the weather so far away. And that's what brought the rain and snow to the UP, Minnesota. That's what's bringing the rain and snow across the mountains. And that's what's bringing the very windy conditions and very warm air. It's just pumping this up. All low pressure spin counterclockwise. So as you could see, it's oriented. These isobars are packed, meaning that the pressure is pretty high, and that is resulting in a lot of winds. Basically, that's what you need to know. This high pressure also is resulting in this wind being even more stronger than usual. It's a 988 low pressure, which is already pretty strong, but with the help of this high pressure spinning the other way, it creates like an avenue of very strong winds. Again, if you were to take a look at the National Weather Service, you could see all these warnings, red flag warnings, alerts. That is mainly to do with the fire danger. And if I were to click on Kansas, where it's especially dangerous as there's wide open terrain and it's been relatively dry across a lot of these locations. Haven't been any large areas of precip. Notice, again, relative humidity is very low. It's windy and it's dry, so they have a fire threat, basically to avoid burning and all that stuff. Aside from that, we do have a few winter storm watches, few winter weather advisories, and across the Northeast, that's also to do with the fire danger. Let's track this forward, this system. Notice, right now, not much, but tomorrow during the day, this is 1 p.m., this on a model looks pretty measly, but these will be more in the thunderstorm type, as it will be very warm air, so it won't really be a large just conglomerate of precipitation in the form of light rain. It will most likely be rather more scattered, kind of isolated, and we will see some pockets of very, very heavy rain. And if we were to take a look at the Storm Prediction Center for tomorrow, for today, this is where the biggest threat is, so similar locations as tomorrow. But you can see for tomorrow, this is where it is. A decent threat to the south, but also notice it stretches very far to the north here, and that is pretty much right here. That's what you have to worry about 1 into really Tuesday afternoon and evening. Again, the chances aren't too high, right, of a severe outbreak. It's just that the severe thunderstorms are possible. It's not a thunderstorm, it's a severe thunderstorm. Again, a severe thunderstorm is much more powerful than just a thunderstorm. But definitely some rain and some much needed rain into Michigan, Wisconsin, and areas likewise. Notice that this low pressure begins, again, ejecting a lot of moisture, which these could be a bit more explosive and strong as they're further to the south, more available moisture, and that could result in the severe weather threat being higher. Notice that by through the night into Tuesday into Wednesday, what we see here is these storms continue. A few pockets of heavier precip, especially towards the west and into the south, but to the north as well. Light to moderate rain overspreading. Again, it won't be more of a general precip shield. It will be more of a, here's a cluster of storms, here's a single storm, here's another cluster of storms, kind of like that setup. And then notice that this low pressure ends up forming this very strong cold front. And by Wednesday evening, right, this is 7 p.m. going into 1 a.m. Central Standard Time. Look at this, a very concerningly large front developing. Strong thunderstorms, definitely, most likely, I would say a damaging wind threat, not necessarily tornadoes, but also heavy rain threat and flooding, as a lot of Louisiana and areas surrounding have been pretty wet. There's especially those areas that have been under those thunderstorms for the past several days. Because a thunderstorm absolutely floods one area and can completely miss another area. So if you're dry and you're in Louisiana, that's more of a good thing, as it will probably remain wet. But you can see there are plenty of flood warning, flood advisories, and this isn't even for a river. It's just for counties that have gotten a lot of, or just strips of counties that have seen a lot of that precipitation. So now notice, going forward, we see this low pressure bring snow to the very north. Again, that's what I was talking about, snow into southern Canada and in northern United States. Look at Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, all seeing some late to moderate rain. Again, it's a bit hard to see how this will all play out, but you can see where the yellows are. That's probably the most significant thunderstorms. Very heavy rain, and you can see it kind of stalls out across southern Illinois for a few hours. Sorry about that. This is now into early Thursday, 7 a.m., right? 1 p.m. Notice that we do have cooler air to the north, so definitely a cool off for a lot of these locations. But the rain continues into the northeast and into the south. You can see Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, and to the north, it's more of a into southern Canada. Probably some thunderstorms, but more of a light rain event, and this pushes through. And you can see that by the time it reaches the East Coast, it's more weakening. It's not really intensifying. And if it does intensify, it will probably be again off the coast. But we have kind of the cold front split away from this low pressure, which intensifies and moves into southern Canada and actually develops a full-fledged blizzard up there. Notice, however, at this time, this is now next week, Sunday, we see very warm air again taking shape. As you can see, the ridge way up here, the 32-degree line. So that cool blast of air that follows the system will be relatively short-lived. And notice, after that, look what happens. More precipitation. Maybe not a strong low pressure at first, but you can see a low pressure to the north drags this cold front, some scattered storms, some of them probably could be severe. Look at that. More precipitation across areas that desperately need rain. Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan. I wouldn't say desperately, but it's dry, and that passes through. Notice it does bring in a bit of cool air as well, and it kind of intensifies across the East Coast. So different, different setup from the first system. Just kind of weakens as it approaches the East Coast. And then notice, this is very far out at this point. This is 258 hours. This is May 7th, Friday. So in about 2 weeks, but I just want to demonstrate that this pattern will remain active. Look at that. We have a trough that will obviously bring in chilly temperatures, and after each one of these systems, these storms will be chilly temperatures, but out ahead of these systems, there will be very warm air, like today was across much of the United States. As you can see, sets up like that, and then the cold air kind of pushes it out. But let's take a glance at this. So there's our cold front, there's our system, and following that, we see another massive ridge, very above average, especially towards the northern plains. And then look, we see another large system, again with severe thunderstorms pretty far to the north into Iowa. I shouldn't say severe thunderstorms, but you can see that instead of being these colors confined to the south, as it will be these first two systems, it's now further to the north, indicating we're now into more of a spring, late spring into a summer pattern. And you can see that brings more precipitation. Look at that. That's like a blizzard if it was just a bit colder. So definitely an exciting pattern and a lot of things to watch for. And I say warmer compared to what we've been seeing, because April was relatively chilly. And you can see this is what the forecast looks like, right? 60s, 70s are going to be almost every day. Look how warm it gets up in southern Canada. Very warm. And then look, obviously behind each system, a bit of a cool off. But, not enough to really bring snow or frost. Just moderate cool off into the 50s. Look at that, all the way up the East Coast here now. Warm. Obviously below average across after the system. I want to show you the anomalies that the system passes through. But look right there, as I was saying. Look how warm it could be in southern Canada. So that's the GFS. Let's take a look at the total accumulated precipitation. Decent amounts, right? This is through 360 hours, so it's quite a bit out. So you can see favoring kind of the western Great Lakes and parts of the central United States, and that's kind of where they need a lot of the precipitation. So that's definitely good news. Small amounts for the Southwest, but not horrible. And hopefully you could get a bit more wet, as these locations are extremely dry. The Canadian model, similar model, just goes out 240 hours. You can see kind of shifts it further to the south, and with that system that could be happening this in a few days, the one that's already occurring, notice that it brings those thunderstorms and thunder showers tomorrow across the upper Midwest into southern Canada. And then look, into Wednesday, Wednesday during the day, it does introduce a lot of showers, storms, and warm air. However, it is a bit quicker to move it out, and it doesn't bring it as far to the north. Again, that explains why the precipitation amounts are heavier towards the south. And look what it does across the northeast. It develops a low pressure that is strong. If you recall, the GFS weakens it as this approaches the northeast and east coast. This one strengthens it and actually develops a blizzard just a bit further, just a bit off the coast of Maine. So again, that's that. Notice warmer conditions prevail, and we see another surge of moisture as you saw right there. Look at that, boom, and more precipitation. Again, staying a bit further to the south, which I'm a bit skeptical of. I don't know if I agree with the Canadian model. The European, a very good model, right? Let's see what it shows. So there's our low pressure. There's our showers tomorrow. You could see that the European kind of portrays it a bit better, a bit more accurately. It will be more clustered, and in some of those clusters, it could be very heavy rain. Notice that sags to the south. This lower pressure does intensify, gets help from the moisture from the south, and look, it just ejects these huge areas of precip. Again, the exact lineup of where this occurs is still a bit unknown. This could, go a bit to the northwest, to the southeast. But again, this is generally what it's going to do. And similarly to the Canadian, the European kind of keeps it a bit stronger versus the GFS that keeps it quite a bit weaker as it approaches the northeast. And you can see it spins into a rain cyclone and introduces a bit of cold air that could convert some of that into some ice, right? Some frozen precipitation. And as we push this forward, notice right there we have another ridge, and the European actually builds this very large low pressure that has a lot of moisture to do with it, and definitely keeps things exciting to say the least. Total quantitative precipitation, here's the European, here's our first storm, again a bit further to the south, not as much as into Michigan or Illinois, but it does keep heavy rains nonetheless. And then notice here's our later system, which systems which do introduce, and look, actually surprising, it's surprising that there's precip across the southwest, because oftentimes the southwest at this time just starts drying out and starts seeing nothing. There's just white, right, indicating nothing. But here, not bad. I mean, 3 inches. Colorado, they need that rain, so that's good. I do want to show you one last thing. So I showed you the European, the Canadian, and I showed you the Storm Prediction Center for tomorrow. This is for Wednesday. You can see it's shifted a bit further to the south and east as that system moves. And Thursday, they don't have an area yet. They probably will have at least some sort of probability. I want to show you the HER model, which is a very, very high range model that goes out 48 hours. Actually, let's just take a look at the RAP, since that model, this model goes out every 6 hours to 48 hours, except the 6 hour, or this really long one is just coming in, so I have to go 6 hours older, which may not be the most updated information. But look, this is what it shows. So tomorrow's thunderstorms, I think it's underplaying some of them, but again, around at 1 to 2 o'clock hour, they're definitely developing into Minneapolis. Look at that, in Wisconsin, could actually a few areas pick up quite a bit of precip. And then notice it sags to the south, and we start seeing clusters across Nebraska, again to the south, and again, that's probably what it will look like. But look at that. As you get into midday Wednesday, some of these start becoming explosive, and potentially line develop some severe, thunderstorms, wind, hail, all that stuff. I do want to take a look at the RAP model, as that is another high res that is pretty much as good as the HER, except its model run is a bit newer, so more updated information. Let's take a look at the reflectivity with this, and notice, right, there's tomorrow's thunderstorms across the Wisconsin, Minneapolis area, Minnesota area. Notice, right, a bit further to the north with the RAP, and a bit underplayed in my opinion, but it's there nonetheless. And then look, it starts getting things active, starts sending bouts of precip to the north, and there we go. A lot of this sets up across Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, which again, I think it's still possible that this could shift a bit further to the north or to the south, depending which model you look at. Okay, so that's basically it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all guys in the next episode. Yeah.